Atlanta from we were Junior Lee out of Atlanta for a Meet the Hype segment. So we always start off with tell us a little about yourself. What do you do? How you do it? I know you're an investor, so kind of jump into that details and start with an introduction of who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Junior Lee, and I'm based out of Georgia, part of the Georgia Hive Mind branch. I'm 25 years old, and I run a land wholesaling business here in Georgia, but I work all across America. I've been primarily doing deals in the Southeast.
Awesome. So it's like South Carolina, Florida.
So I've closed deals in Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Florida, and I'm expanding into Texas now.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. So 25 years old. How long you been in real estate? How long you been in entrepreneurship too?
So I've been doing real estate 2 years in February of this upcoming year. So I got into it in February of 2020, right before COVID. I was doing roofing before that. I was a roofing salesman. And I was trying to do both home wholesaling and roofing at the same time. But when I was doing both, I wasn't succeeding as much as I could in either. So I was like, I had to make a decision. And the roofing companies that I was working for, it was just not really like my thing. Like they had like weekly meetings 3 times a week, and they would charge you money like if you didn't do certain things, like wear your shirt a certain way. And I was like, this just really isn't my thing. Like you don't pay me by the hour, but you're gonna charge me. So a lot of things just kind of let up, and some roofing claims got denied like the week before I just quit roofing altogether. And then in February, I just went full on real estate wholesaling. I just quit and just was like, I'm gonna figure it out. And yeah, I kind of did. It took a while though.
So I think what's cool is you're a pandemic entrepreneur, man. I think a lot of people transitioned into entrepreneurship and opened a lot of doors just by starting a business during the pandemic, because you're almost like you're almost forced to a transition. And it was kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool to under 2 years, man. That's crazy. You're under 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. Under 2 years, and then successfully I'm right at 18 months.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get your first?
When I first started wholesaling, I thought I was going to be the Max Maxwell, and I was going to wholesale all these houses. So I rammed my head into a brick wall for several months before I figured out land is the way to go.
So how many months, man? It took me 7 months to get my first deal.
Okay. So yeah, I started in February. My now wife and I, we both quit our jobs, and we were like, we're gonna figure it out. And so like I ordered a list off Fiverr and paid like $15, and then just like heard that really loud noise of wrong numbers for a few days. So then I started getting better lists and stuff, and I was calling in February. I almost closed on a vacant lot in May of 2020, but the closing attorney I was using let like one small title issue destroy it. And then he was like, oh, I can't close this deal. And I was very inexperienced, so I just let it go and missed out on a $13,000 assignment fee. But then, so that was in May, and that was at the 3-month mark. So I could have potentially had my first deal at 3 months, but then you fast forward to the end of June. That's when I first wholesaled my first double wide trailer in Lula, Georgia. It was a double wide trailer, and I ran like comps and did an ARV and stuff because it registered as a single family home because it was on a permanent foundation. So I was running like single family comps and stuff, and I walked the property and I took like 700 photos. My iPhone like had no more storage when I was done. And then I uploaded it all over Facebook and was all over the place marketing it. And the lady was like, hey, I'm gonna move to Florida. Can you please come help me move some things out of my house? So my brother and I gave him like $20 and was like, come on, let's go. We're gonna move some stuff out of this lady's house. And we went inside the house, and there was, I kid you not, like rat feces, rabbits, birds, animals. Like you could Google Lula, Georgia, and you'll figure out like how like out in the sticks this was. So this lady has us like moving things all in this like really gross house, and my brother has no shame, and it's not really his deal. So he's in there moving the stuff like this, and I'm like, yo, like put your shirt down, like be cool, be discreet. it didn't blow the deal. So she made us move all this stuff out of her house that she ended up not even taking to Florida with her. And then after that, the man that I wholesaled it to comes in and knocks the whole double wide down and then treats it like it's land anyway. They ended up doing a new build.
Oh,
So yeah, so I closed my first deal like right at July of 2020. And that was a really cool feeling. Like I put on a polo, I went to the closing. You know, I got my physical check. I was like, yes, finally it is possible. I can wholesale successfully. And then I went back to trying to get houses and didn't get another deal for a couple of months. And I was like, oh no, like I thought I was gonna be in closings every week. Like, what's going on?
But skip ahead.
So it was about
You got 2 closings today.
right. I had 2 closings today. Yeah. But back then, like it was rough. So in August though of 2020, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus solely on land because land deals just kept falling in my lap, and I didn't know what to do with them. Like, there's no videos on. I mean, there are some videos now that I've done deeper diving on YouTube, but Max Maxwell doesn't teach you how to wholesale land. He teaches you how to walk around, look really cool at properties, and then run ARVs and stuff and do that. But he doesn't teach you how to sell dirt. So in August, I was like, I'm only going to focus on generating land deals and leads and stuff. So I pulled a bunch of lists. I did a bunch of SMS marketing and I got a bunch of leads. And so I decided that in mid-August and closed my next deal on September 1st. And so then it was just a snowball effect. So since August of last year, now it's the end of November, I've closed 28 deals. But I'm high volume, like, you know, I've talked to some heavy hitters like Anthony and yourself, you know, $50,000 assignment fees, you know, my range is in anywhere between like 1,000 and 15,000, but I'm volume, you know, I've done my 29 deals since August of last year.
It's a lot of deals, man. It's a lot of deals.
It's a lot, yeah, a lot of volume experience, closing process and other things that come up that that never, like I never would have learned about until they do come up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people overcomplicate real estate. Like, oh, I need to know everything before I start. And I tell people all the time, it's like, once you close a deal, you'll learn. Once you close your second deal, you'll learn from that experience. Once you close your third deal, you'll learn from that experience too. Because I feel like every real estate transaction, like some are like green, everything works out, and then the next one's like fucked up.
Right.
I think that's that same experience where you think like from here on it's gonna be smooth sailing, and then it's not always the case.
Yeah. I've built a stomach for it. Like I don't even get excited until there's like a wire or a check. Like I don't on closing. I've had deals fall apart on closing day from the buyer side and the seller side. So like I've built an iron stomach. So like I don't even get excited. Like I'll have my biggest assignment fee assigned and set to close. It's the day before closing. Buyer's like, yo, I sent them the money. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, talk to me tomorrow once everything is done, then I'll be excited, you know?
Yeah, when it hits the account, when I see that blue plus sign with the number behind it on the,
exactly,
transactions. Yeah. I did one in April. I think it was late April, early May. I was trying to close. I was going to make over 800,000 on a double close. And right before we sent over the final agreement, the paperwork for the seller, he says, you know what, I changed my mind. Yeah, I just feel like that's too low, you know, the number I gave you guys. And he's like, I didn't say that. And then we sent him a screenshot. We're like, that's your number right there, bud. And he's like, no, I'm just not going to sell for that. So all right, whatever. And I'm already so used to it too. Same thing. Like, I don't care. You know, like we'll get another one somewhere else down the road.
I think I heard you mention that on maybe the Clubhouse last week or another one of these calls. You just said something that really stuck with me because I kind of think similarly. You said that you were just grateful to be a part of that kind of deal and a part of that situation. That's how I feel when I talk to some of these larger parcels, like 1,600 acres here in South Georgia. It didn't end up working out, but just the fact that I'm a part of a 1,600 acre conversation is just astounding to me. And I'm just grateful for that, you know?
Yeah, I don't hear any of my homies talking about doing those kinds of transactions. And even in the real estate world, you don't hear too many people talking about that at all. No gurus or nothing. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just happy to like you're playing in the major leagues or you're playing in the NFL. Like, I don't care if I lose or not. At least I still got the jersey on.
Right. You're out there, you're figuring it out. Eventually something's going to fall though.
Yeah, that's what I think it's cool. It's like, okay, I missed that opportunity, but there'll be another one. You know, it might only be one, it might be two next year or later this year, whatever. You know, we'll be ready for it when it comes over home plate. And then I got more comfortable because in my mind, I guess I had a mental block because I'd never seen anybody write a check, you know, for several $1 million for a property, right? Because like in my mind, I'm like, I can't write no $2 or $3 million check. So But when I actually went out, it was an agent that brought his buyer to the property, and we drove around, and the buyer was so excited, dude. I mean, he was like a little kid at Christmas time. He was like, "Oh, drive me over there. Hey, can we look over here? Hey, can we come down this side?" And he kept getting off the truck and walking around, getting back on the truck. Like, "Can you drive us back to the front over there on that side?" And he had a million questions, and he was talking so fast, dude. Like, he drank like 4 Red Bulls before he got there. He's a big, big guy, white guy, like tall, husky, like just a big older man. And I mean, he had so much energy, like literally like a 5-year-old, dude. And even after we drove around for like an hour and a half, he was like, "Is it okay if we drive around again by ourselves?" Like, he was so sold.
Right.
And I told him before I left, I said, "Hey, we have 0 offers on this deal." I said, "So whatever offer you put in," I said, "I think my guy's going to accept it, whatever." And he like, because in my mind, I'm like, even if he lowers the price 200 or 400, like I'll still make 400 grand, right? No big deal, right? So I'm like, just make us an offer. So the agent calls me that night, and he's like, "Hey, we're ready to go. Everything's good." And I'm like, "Hey, do you know how much he's going to offer?" He goes, "Oh, he's putting in a full price offer." He's like, he wants it. Like, he doesn't want to play no games. He's going to put down 50,000 earnest money. You know what I mean? Like, the dude was so sold. And so I was like, "Oh shoot, this might happen." And yeah, sure enough, yeah, we, like I said, the deal fell apart on the seller's side. Like, crap. But at least now I feel comfortable and confident knowing that there's people that are ready to stroke that $4 million check. So it's like, okay, cool. Then it's my own mental block that was telling me that was a hard property to move. But on the buyer side, it was going to be like the easiest deal I'd ever done.
Right. And that's what's crazy is that, like, of course, it would be incredible for you to make this massive, payday, but then you would have provided this man with this land that he's just so excited about that he's running around and hopping out, acting like a little kid. With him being willing to put down so much earnest money, were you not able to, like, kind of tie that up and like renegotiate the price up? And did he want like more than 800,000?
Yeah, he raised it like $1 million. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're like, whatever, dude. Like, and I said, even he on the original screenshot from the price that we agreed on, yeah, he raised it like 500 an acre, and then after that, yeah, he still raised it again, like I think another 500 or 700 an acre, which killed the deal. But again, now in my mind, I'm like, forget this. Let's just pull a list of 2,000 acre properties plus, and let's just go after those. And now I know that those buyers out there, yeah, those buyers are hungry.
Even though you don't have that seller. That's just one seller, but you have those for sure buyers that and that agent, and their price range. Yeah, you'll definitely get something going in that range for sure.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine, man. Him and his dad, they'll list ranches for 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. So it's like, and us, we're like trying to we're scrambling, worried about selling a deal for $4 million or $8 million. Like, I talked to a guy northeast of Houston just this past week. And he's like, "Hey, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I do, bigger land deals." He's like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm working on one right now. 2,400 acres for 60 million. I was like, "Oh." Yeah. So everybody's playing in this different universe where in our mind, like I said, it's like 5 million is a lot of money, 10 million is a lot of money, where somebody else are just like, not even going to waste their time with that. So I'm like, okay, cool. This kind of changes your whole paradigm.
Mm-hmm. I was watching a Brad Lee podcast, and he kind of talked something about that. It's like raising your thermometer, like your thermometer is set to a certain point. So if you think 1,500 acres is massive, then whenever you start talking to 2,000 acres, you're gonna cool yourself off down to 1,500 acres. But somebody else's thermometer out there is on 10,000 acre parcels. So they think what I look at and what you look at is small because that's cool on their thermometer. And you got actually just being a part of this group, being a part of these calls, these clubhouses, has just naturally made me raise my thermometer. I remember one time, I don't even know if you two remember this. I did a quick conference call with you all talking about larger parcel land deals in Georgia. Yeah, and I was doing a mental block like you were just saying.
You had a spreadsheet with a bunch of deals on it, right?
Right. But I was mental blocking myself, just with these big parcels, are they going to take a 25-year-old serious with a 3-page contract? And you were like, I've done big parcel deals on napkins. I was like, oh, okay. And I heard that. And then I went and did a 100-acre parcel deal. You guys made me raise my thermometer like that, just with a phone call. So yeah, this group, this environment, this ecosystem, whatever you guys want to call it, you've created is just incredible. It's crazy.
I think I saw Anthony's text message somebody today. Yeah, I think he needs to sign the contract with a napkin. He sent somebody that today.
He's like, "Oh, we're waiting on the paperwork and all this crap." I'm like, "Dude, write it on a freaking napkin and take a picture of it and send it to me. Anything."
When I heard you say that, and then I heard your experience and your background and your knowledge, I was like, I'm overcomplicating it. I have no experience, no knowledge, no background, and I'm worried about. Like I need a 100-page contract. Like this guy is talking about just doing it on a napkin. I'm just gonna do that. But the guy didn't want to sign on a napkin. I had to send the 3-page contract.
So I always laugh because I always set Anthony up for this question whenever we're talking to new people, like, oh, they think real estate's hard and complicated. I was like, Anthony has done a ton of deals, and how many contracts have you filled out, Anthony? None.
Never filled out a real estate contract before myself, dude.
Well, how is that possible?
I mostly have my attorney do it, or my wife would do it, and now other team members do it, but I've never done it myself, man. Yeah.
So we're trying to keep that track record at 0 for a very long time, because I think it's such an icebreaker, because some people overcomplicate it and they're like, oh, I can't do it. This contract, what does it say? What does it say? Like Anthony has 0 contract experience.
Yeah. Well, there's really no need for you to write your own contracts now.
But even back then when he first started out, he was doing
right.
Because he didn't.
But that's what I was saying. Yeah.
He trusted the attorney to do everything, man, whatever. And even after he would give me the docs, I know I could use the same docs for something else. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna ask him again just in case, because I was doing a lot of like creative finance stuff and just weird stuff that I hadn't come across. So I just got used to just him writing up everything for me. So that's kind of, we were just rolled with that. And I was gonna mention earlier about the big land deals. Is like now I feel like, let's say I just sacrifice all of next year going after like a 5,000 acre tracts or 10,000 acre tracts, like it's okay, because even if I trip over the first 5 or 10 and don't get a deal, I feel by the time I get to deal 11, I'll be a killer in that space, you know? So I'm just, anybody's that's hitting me up saying, hey, you know, what should I go after? Or what can we partner on? I'm just like trying to just get everybody now to just go after those giant tracts. Like, let's all figure this out together. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds, man. So I'm excited to work with you. I know you're starting up that Texas campaign. I was trying to get something going in Georgia, and then we never really connected. I wasn't too sure which direction you were headed in. So now that you're going to be in Texas, I feel real comfortable here. I got a lot of buyers that will buy in multi-millions, and you know, I'm looking for a large credit line myself to take those bigger deals down. So I'm excited to see what we can do together, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
So tell us, what type of deals are you just strictly doing land? What size parcels are you looking for? Where can people bring you deals? All that stuff.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've found success in within the Hive Mind, is joint venturing with people, but I do it in a different way. I'll bring the deals, the leads, the marketing. I pride myself on being able to get somebody paid. Maybe it's not a huge payday, but I can get somebody paid without them spending $1. Like they just need internet service and access to Facebook. If someone can provide a secure, solid buyer in any market in America where it's legal to wholesale, I will generate whatever kind of land they're looking for. So a few guys that I've, I think it's just guys that I've JV'd with. I've talked to Sharonda about doing some deals together, but I've successfully closed a deal with a guy named John and Antorius that are in the Hive Mind group. I'm not sure if they have the CRM, but yeah, I JV'd with them. I told them just find a buyer in the market, tell me where they are, what they need. I personally started off specializing in smaller infill lots, even in rural mobile home zone land. My bread and butter is anywhere from half an acre to about 10 acres. Unrestricted is usually what I like. Like if somebody can put a mobile home on it here in Georgia, I can make a lot of money on it because they're retail buyers, they're number buyers. They'll buy differently than investors. So if somebody wanted to bring a Georgia deal that's unrestricted anywhere north of Atlanta, and I'll get it sold. But if somebody wants to get paid with no money out of their own pocket, bring me a solid buyer anywhere in America, I guess, other than Illinois. Is that where you can't wholesale?
I think Oklahoma just passed it too.
Cool. Yeah, so anywhere other than those two places, bring me just 1 or 2 solid buyers in a market, and then I can take care of the rest. I pride myself on that, like I really do. If there's anybody out there listening or watching and you haven't closed a deal yet, or you don't know how to close a deal, PM me, add me, follow me, whatever, and I can get you paid with no money out of your pocket.
I love the confidence, man. That is dope. And then also inviting people to do deals with you too. That's amazing as well, because there's a lot of gurus out there, and you got to pay me $5,000 or $10,000 to work with me, and you're like, hey, I'll get you the deal. Just bring me a damn buyer.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah,
just solid relationships with good buyers, and we can all make a lot of money.
That's awesome, man.
I think that's what I love about the Hive Mind, man, is we see a lot of JV deals happening. And then even me personally, I've closed more JV deals now, like than my own personal deals, like than I did in my first 2 years, like in the last like 90 or 120 days. You know, I did 2 years worth of volume in the last like few months, just from JVing with people. And it's continuing to accelerate now. And the way that I have everything set up is my marketing goes to 4 team members, and they're doing both acquisitions and dispositions. So now I'm doing a lot of JV deals that I'm not even working on anymore. Like I'm not physically talking to the sellers, sometimes not even the buyers now. So pretty cool system that we have set up, man. But I think that's where the magic really happens, and that's where you can scale. I see other people's real estate companies, and they're like, oh, I gotta hire this position, and I gotta hire this position. And I'm like, how about you just do 1 billion JVs with everybody, and then you don't have to hire anybody at all. You have zero payroll. So I like that you've kind of adopted the model and that you've seen it and that it's working for you. And that you're looking to expand, man, because you know, I think there's a lot of people out there that really do need the help, and for you to offer yourself out there like that, and you're looking for more opportunities to help people, that's dope, man. It's like it just speaks to the culture and the community that we're building here. So we're glad that you saw that and that you're experiencing it and that you're also offering to help other people now. We appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I've learned and gained so much just from being in the group. For a long time, I was just a part of the Facebook group, and that alone should be like subscription based. People should pay a monthly fee just to be in there and be able to see the comments people are leaving and the questions people are asking and getting answered in there. Like, I'm surprised that's not, you know, subscription based. But I recently got the actual HiveMind full blown CRM. I came off Podio, Batch Dialer, and Batch Leads. I was paying for 3 things when I could have just been paying for one that just is way better than all of those combined. And I can speak to how much progress it's had in my business because I got it this month and I've already closed like 2 deals from the HiveMind alone. Like I'm still closing deals from my batch leads and my batch dialers because perk test and surveys and stuff take time. But now I think like after next week, everything that'll be closing after that will only be HiveMind deals.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too, man, because you saw us early on, and then you didn't officially join until recently. And then you said you're coming from Podio. We do have people moving over from Podio now more often. So what was the catalyst that made you decide to just pull the trigger on it and hop on board with us? If you could just hang out in the group, and it was
yeah. So the group itself was more than enough. Just the connections that can be made in there, and you guys took phone calls and would interact with me like on a personal level before I was even a member of the CRM, and so that was really cool in of itself. But then I was on a Clubhouse call at the beginning of the month. You guys had. I remember I was sitting in my garage, moving things around, and I was just listening. And I heard people talking about like the workflows and the automation, and then just how like it is just so much better than what I was using, because I was using batch leads where you have to press send, 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 and then you just send that one message, and then that's it. That's just all. That's all they ever hear from you is that initial message with the opt out at the end. So you look like a robot, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna text this guy back. This guy's crazy." Then now I'm uploading all my old leads into a workflow where you don't text back. That's okay because we're gonna hit you with another text, and then like it'll just work through all the way to where I've got mine set up to where it's calls, ringless voicemails, everything. And then if you finally still have not told me to go to HE double hockey sticks, you're getting hit with emails too. So the workflows, the automation of the HiveMind is just crazy.
I tell people that all the time because a lot of people, they just use like a lot of the systems out there, they just do cold calling. So people, they just cold call, and they don't do anything else. And then there's people that just do text. And then they get emails with their skip trace list and never email anything. So I'm like, you're missing opportunity by not incorporating every single thing because people respond differently to different types of just contact. People call me all the time. I do not answer. I don't answer my phone. My phone will ring all day long and I don't answer the phone. I'll call you back depending if I want to or not. But if you text me, hey, call me, I'll call you right then and there. But if you call me, I'm not gonna answer the phone. It's just my phone knows to put it straight to voicemail. So like, and if you send me email, and I'll respond to an email too. So like I'm the type of person, if you text an email, I'll respond. But if you call me, it ain't gonna work.
Right. Yeah, but you're saying that, and I'm the exact person you're talking about. I used to only do SMS and cold calling. I wouldn't do any ringless voicemail, any email or anything like that. Now I'm like really incorporating just a lot more into my business for a third of the price that I was spending before. It's just so crazy.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, towards the end, not that it's not nowhere near the end, but we always ask, like, is there a quote that, whether it's yours or somebody else's, that you resonate with, that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, there is one. I don't know who says it or what, but I really do like it. It's just kind of like a phrase, rather. It's, you don't know something until you know it. So I kind of live by that, because I used to be fearful and put mental blocks on myself, but you don't know anything until you know it. So you got to, kind of like Anthony was saying earlier, and I was saying, you got to go do something and do it and figure it out. And, you can't really be afraid of failing, because failing just inevitably means you're going to get better. So yeah, just go figure things out.
Fail forward. I think
yeah, for sure.
I think it's huge, man. I think you got a lot of traction in since you started, and since you started and closed your first deal. That's amazing. It's cool to see you get a lot of traction. I'm happy, man. I'm happy for you. I love to see young people succeed. Like I said, I started my first business when I was 25 too. You're 23, so it's cool to see young people succeed and know what direction there are, because the one benefit the young people have versus older people is they have the benefit of time. So that's more experiences, that's more lessons, that's more failures, that's more everything that you can use and leverage the rest of your life. And it's huge. Like Anthony's been entrepreneur for 10 years. Imagine all the shit he's learned and dealt with. 20 years. All the shit he's learned and dealt with over the past 20 years, how to deal with people, shitty situations. Like we had another podcast call, and like overnight success could take 10 years or more.
Yeah. Somebody told me that other day. We were on a call, and I was talking to a buyer's agent for a deal we're closing by Houston. And he's like, man, you are so, it was Corey Carroll. He's like, dude, you are so smooth, man. He's like, golly. And it's like, it's funny because it's just second nature now, because I've been doing it for so long. I don't have to think of my script. I don't have to think of what I'm going to say. Like, this stuff is just like, I'm firing on all cylinders, but that's all it is. It's just practice, just from being in the game for such a long time. And then I've always been of the mindset, like I've always been like mildly successful my whole life, even when I was in construction, when I was young. So like family events, like I'm paying at the restaurant, I'm buying all the barbecue stuff. And I mean, like, I just always wanted to take care of my people. I've always been like that. Even when I didn't have it, I still wanted to pay for everybody. And I've always been of the mindset of like, it's no fun to win by yourself. So now that I have accumulated all this experience and knowledge and everything, it's like, it's the hive mind was the next best move. It's like, let's teach the people behind us, because I can't take the money with me. I can't take the knowledge with me. So let's teach the masses, and let's spread it. So when we see it spreading to somebody like yourself, and then you like openly said on this conversation that I want to share it with other people now, it's like, that's what it is, dude. That's what all these brains are all around us. Like, we just want to just put that knowledge on as many people as possible and share the gifts with people.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, man. And I feel so fortunate to be around so many men and women that have been doing this just so much longer than me, because like I've only been trying it for 2 years, and successful less than that. I'm not even, at my 10,000 hours. Like I'm so excited to see where I can go, and then to be in this kind of environment and around this kind of like heavy hitters at such an early stage in my career. It's like joining the Chicago Bulls. Like, you get drafted at 93 or something, and you're just going to get carried to championships potentially. It's really, it's awesome. And there's so many people. Like, I literally have mental to-do list of people that I need to like introduce myself to within the hive and get to know, that I just have heard you all speak highly of or speak on a Clubhouse. And there's just so many people that you can't even get through everybody. And it's endless resources if you can just try to offer some kind of value in exchange for infinite knowledge. If there's others out there that are early in the game like myself, like, take advantage of the people that are in this group, not like in a take advantage kind of way, but like learn and like, I don't know. It's just incredible what you guys have built.
There's opportunity to educate yourself no matter where you're at. Because if you're new, we got that. If you've been in this for a while, we got people that are been doing it longer than I've been alive. So there's plenty of caliber people in the hive mind to help assist. And like, even for me, like me and Anthony have only been in real estate for 3 years. And like,
Mhm.
for us to even like able to accumulate all these smart people around us, it's just been amazing to see for even for us, man. It's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Like when we got John Alexander messing with us, he's like, John Alexander has been doing real estate for 30 years. I'm only 29.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
how did this person touch us, and how did we effectively convert him into the hive mind? I don't understand how this works.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I mentioned it on the call the other day because I had never met John before. We met on Clubhouse, right, like about a year ago. And it's so funny is that everything he was teaching, everything that he was saying, all of his methodologies, everything, dude, word for word, I was doing the identical thing. And that's why I guess we clicked so closely on Clubhouse. And he mentioned it the other day on the call. He's like, I have no idea. He's like, at your age, how you learned all this stuff. He's like, and everything that you say, everything that you do, he's like, it's some kind of freaking anomaly. And the cool part is that I just learned from other people. Like immediately, I started generating leads, and I just found all the gurus in my city. Like, help me, I have a lead. Help me, I have a lead. So
Mhm.
it's like I downloaded, 30 years of information, like in a year and a half or 2 years, just from being of that mindset. Is like I don't even want it for myself. Like I want to learn with other people and grow. And I think that's what we created. Is I call it a high transaction environment. So it's like if you're
Mhm.
like walking around on the day trading, like at the New York Stock Exchange, you're going to learn a lot faster than if you're sitting at home watching YouTube videos. If you're in that high transaction environment where people are moving.
Mhm.
So everybody's a contributor, like you, like yourself. Like I've never heard anybody say that. Like, hey, I'm already in multiple states. If anybody wants to close deals with me and you have buyers, I'll get you leads. You're the first person I've ever heard say that. So aside, other than myself, yeah. So that's amazing, man. That's dope. It's like no matter what age you are, no matter what your experience level is, everybody brings something unique to the table.
Yep, you are the first person to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Besides Anthony,
Nice.
you're the first person to say that.
All right, cool. Yeah. Well, I mean it too, for real. Yeah, I really will close deals in any state that is legal.
There you go. Well, I might send some people your way because people are always reaching out to us to do that, and I'm like,
Mhm.
we can only do so much as ourselves, which is we want to get. And this is where it comes down to like people like you, like, hey, you're doing the same thing we are. We can count on you. Like, hey, you can. We're already at capacity right now for the moment. Try Junior. Boom. Connection made.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too. It's like, so when people join the Hive Mind, like they're contributors here. They're both contributing both some of their capital, right, by using the software, and then also their time and energy. So the only thing we can think of is like, how can we pay that back? So yeah, if you are looking to partner with more people, if you need more people to help you work the phones, find buyers, we encourage you, man. Like post in the group. You can make a video, or you can just make a post and said, tell us exactly what you're doing. Tell us who you are, and introduce yourself to the community on the Inner Circle page, and just say that. Say, hey, I'm operating in these states right now. I'm looking to expand more. If you don't have any leads, but you have buyers or you're great at dispositions, give me a ring. Let's chat a little bit and see if we're a fit, because we want the community to kind of like circulate amongst itself, right? So if you're mastering it at one side, but you're ready to get some help on another side, bring those people in, grab those people. Because there right now, I promise you, there's plenty of people wandering around thinking like, man, I wish I just had some deals. I could sell the heck out of them, or my buyers are hungry. I just don't have the deals. I don't have the leads.
Mhm.
So it's like the community always plugs back into itself, man. And there's always somebody inside the community that needs you as much as you need them. And we're seeing those connections made daily.
So that's actually, it's funny you said that. So we're actually implementing this probably by the end of the week. We're trying to incorporate somebody full-time to call all of our users and see where they need assistance and where they can help, and connect people, just connect the dots through us instead of organically. Like, hey, I have leads, I'm gonna need buyers. And somebody's like, I got buyers, I need leads. So boom, hey, go talk to Junior. Junior's gonna set you up.
Wow.
So we're
That's
trying
really
to make that connection quicker, and that's the goal of even in this conversation. So it's even good that we even told us about it, because I tell people, like, I want to help you probably more than you want to help yourself, because if you tell me what you need, I'm going to try and facilitate that based off of my connections and who I know to try and get what you want. Just because even if there's no benefit to me, we want to serve and provide as much value to you. So I literally went to a meetup, and the guy at the meetup, if anybody listens to this, is looking for 50 to 100 units anywhere that's landlord friendly, and he's ready to buy right now. So like for me, I want to facilitate a transaction. He's not a user, he's just a person I met at a meetup. I have his number, but I'm trying to facilitate that transaction just to show the power of the Hive, because I know somebody out there probably has a deal under contract looking for a buyer, and I just didn't put it out there enough.
Yeah, man,
It's
that's
crazy.
We have an incredible urgency to build connections for no reason. One of our users is in Florida. She said that she had a deal where she was going to make 200K on it. And so I created a quick buyers campaign for her around the place. And I sent her like 40 or 45 people that sent me an inquiry with their phone number and their email. And she's like, well, how much do you need if somebody decides to buy? I'm like, I don't need nothing. I just want you to make 200 grand. You know, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we need to borrow some cash from you later on down the road. Like, but we've said it over and over again a million times, is that our goal is to really make everybody that's in the hive mind super wealthy, right?
Yep.
Because that positions us to take down larger assets. You know, maybe we're the ones taking down that $60 million ranch in house, and we don't even need anybody else's help. We don't need any credit unions or anybody to help us with that deal. But unless we make everybody in the group mega successful, then we're always going to struggle. I mean, everybody's going to struggle to have cash flow to take down mini storages, apartment complexes, like. So it's in our best interest to see everybody around us winning at a very high level.
Yep.
Right. And I think you guys are doing a really good job of creating that kind of environment. I feel like anybody can come in, and if they want to get started in real estate of some sort or another, you know, this is the place to be. Like, this is the exact place to be. Like, if this would have been a group in February of 2020, maybe I wouldn't have struggled so long. I truly believe that.
Dude, that's awesome you said that, dude. That's awesome you said that, because I think, man, me, Coach, and Anthony, we're like, we want to teach the masses because there's so much opportunity out there that's just missed.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can teach and educate the masses at an affordable price point that makes sense for everybody involved, everybody wins. Like, we're making we're making a difference across the US just with a simple CRM.
Yeah, dude, actually around the globe, right? Because we got Africa, we got Australia, we got Canada now. So we're moving all over the place.
Yeah.
And, that's somebody messaged, I think they mentioned it to me. I want to say it was at Top Golf the other night. They were like, man, like you think you're just running like a CRM company, like, but you're actually like changing people's lives all around you. And it's cool because I guess like I probably could have guessed it, but I've never thought of it. It's never crossed my mind like that before until somebody else mentioned it. And I'm like, I guess we are. You know, we were just having fun. We just want to make sure that everybody around us is having success. And yeah, I guess people's lives are changing because we'll see people come in and they're a new guy. And then you see them getting into momentum and, hey, I'm doing another deal. Like, hey, I'm taking this one down for myself. Like, oh, crap. Well, this person never did their first deal. And now they're starting to buy their own assets. Like, oh, shoot. Okay.
Wow.
We did make a lot of progress in a pretty short amount of time. So we're excited, you know, how far we've come, but I still feel like it's the beginning. I have some kind of disorder where I have like a low level of reward. So no matter how amazing we do, I'm always like, man, we're just getting started. I haven't seen nothing yet. So
yeah.
So we usually end it with where can people find you? How can people connect with you? Are you on Instagram? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? We'll put links to this as well.
Cool. I'm on all social medias at JR the REI. So like Junior the real estate investor, but REI. I'm active on social media. I'm coming out hot and heavy in 2022 though. I'm gonna be on Instagram, and Mike Novak's got me looking at TikTok, and but you can, where I am really active, and you can speak to me and we can plan how to do deals, and I can, you know, figure out how to get you paid. It's just on Facebook. Just add me. I'm in all the Hive Mind groups. Junior Lee, my first and last name. Add me, send me a message, and just say, hey, get me paid, and then we'll get on a call and figure it out.
There you go. We appreciate your time, man. Much love for you, and much success too. I think I'm excited. Like, I'm really excited where we have another conversation 5 years down the line, and Junior at 30, what Junior at 30 is doing, because this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you being on here. It's good hanging out with you, and we'll speak with you soon.